It was a Tuesday. Just another Tuesday. The kind that drags on endlessly. I was bored out of my mind, stuck in the monotony of my daily routine. Then my phone buzzed unexpectedly. It was my buddy, Professor Zany, the eccentric inventor known for his wild ideas and even wilder creations. He wanted to show me his latest creation, something he claimed would blow my mind. I was intrigued. And let's be honest, anything was better than another Tuesday night reruns of old TV shows. Professor Zany lived in a quirky little house at the edge of town, a place that seemed to defy the laws of normalcy. It was the kind of place with a weather vane shaped like a UFO and a doorbell that played the eerie theme from The Twilight Zone. I rang the doorbell and braced myself for whatever was to come. This was going to be interesting, to say the least. S1. It's a doozy, I thought to myself.
You're just in time, he exclaimed with a wide grin.
He exclaimed, ushering me inside with an air of excitement and mystery.
I've been tinkering, and let's just say you're about to see something truly remarkable, he said, his eyes gleaming with enthusiasm.
I followed him down a creaky staircase, each step echoing in the dimly lit hallway. To his basement laboratory, my heart pounding with anticipation and a hint of fear. Little did I know, my life was about to change in a way I could never have imagined. This visit was going to be more than just a break from the mundane. It was the beginning of an adventure. The lab was a sight to behold. It was a labyrinth of bubbling beakers, sparking wires, and gadgets that looked like they belonged in a science fiction movie. There were robots missing limbs, half-assembled rockets, and a contraption that looked suspiciously like a shrink ray. It was chaos, but it was organized chaos. Professor Zany clearly had a method to his madness. Professor Zany yelped, swatting my hand away from a glowing orb. S1. Don't touch that!
That's my latest invention, the Invisibility ray. Still working out a few kinks, narrator, he chuckled nervously.
I couldn't believe my ears. Invisibility? Was that even possible? The air crackled with electricity. The room hummed with a low, ominous drone. It was both exhilarating and slightly terrifying. I cautiously navigated my way through the maze of equipment, trying not to trip over any stray wires or robotic limbs. The atmosphere was thick with the smell of ozone and anticipation. Professor Zany was fiddling with a panel of blinking lights, his fingers moving deftly over the controls.
Just a few adjustments, he said with a confident smile, and then we'll be ready for a demonstration. Narrator, he muttered, almost to himself as if reassuring his own thoughts.
I peered over his shoulder, mesmerized by the complex circuitry that seemed to pulse with life. As he tightened a cable, a surge of electricity shot through the lab, making the air crackle with energy. The lights flickered, and a high-pitched whine filled the air, growing louder with each passing second. Suddenly, I felt a tingling sensation, like 1,000 ants crawling across my skin, spreading from my fingertips to my entire body. I looked down at my hand. It was disappearing. Professor? I called out, my voice tinged with panic. I stammered, my voice trembling. I think something's wrong. My heart raced as I tried to comprehend what was happening. He spun around, his eyes widening in alarm, clearly not expecting this turn of events.
Step away from the machine, he commanded, his voice urgent and filled with concern.
He shouted, but it was too late. The machine had already taken hold. The room was bathed in a blinding flash of light, and then everything went dark. The silence was deafening. When I opened my eyes, the lab was silent. The chaos from moments before had vanished. The lights were back on, and the humming had stopped, leaving an eerie calm in its wake. I looked down at myself, or rather, where I thought I should be. My body was nowhere to be seen. I couldn't see anything. I was invisible. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. Panic surged through me. What had happened? Was this permanent? Questions flooded my mind. I reached out, my hand passing through the air, feeling nothing but emptiness. I was trapped in an invisible nightmare, unsure of how to return to my normal self. The fear of the unknown gripped me tightly. At first, it was terrifying. I bumped into things, stumbled around blindly. Then the novelty kicked in. I could do anything. I swiped a donut from the bakery unseen. I borrowed a hat from a grumpy old man. It was hilarious. One time, I even ate a cake invisibly. Picture this, a cake floating in midair, slices mysteriously vanishing. People screamed, "Ghosts!" I almost choked on my frosting, laughing. It was the perfect prank. The world became my playground. I eavesdropped on conversations, learning juicy secrets. I snuck into concerts, enjoying front row seats for free. I even played invisible pranks on unsuspecting strangers. The possibilities were endless. For a while, I felt invincible, like a mischievous phantom, free from the constraints of visibility. But invisibility wasn't all fun and games. It came with its own set of challenges. Dogs, for instance, were a nightmare. They couldn't see me, but they could smell me. I'd be minding my own business, then bam! A furry torpedo would slam into me, sending me sprawling. Security systems were another headache. Laser beams, motion sensors, pressure plates, they were everywhere. I had to become a master of stealth, dodging and weaving like a secret agent. One wrong move and alarms would blare, sending guards scrambling. It was stressful, to say the least. And don't even get me started on crowds. People couldn't see me, so they'd bump into me, step on my toes, even spill their drinks on me. It was like being a ghost in a crowded subway car, uncomfortable and messy. Invisibility, it turned out, was a lot more complicated than I'd imagined. One day, I was strolling through the park, enjoying my invisible anonymity, when the heavens opened. Rain poured down, soaking me to the bone. And that's when it happened. I started to become visible. Not completely, mind you, but enough to be really, really creepy. Imagine this. A faint outline of a person, clothes clinging to their body, walking around like a soggy ghost. People screamed, fainted, ran for their lives. I became a viral sensation, dubbed the Rain Phantom by the local news. It was mortifying. I raced for cover, hiding in a department store until the rain stopped and I was fully invisible again. It was a valuable lesson learned the hard way. Never underestimate the power of precipitation. From that day forward, I carried an umbrella everywhere I went. You know, just in case. With my newfound caution, I decided to treat myself. I checked into a swanky hotel, the kind of place that dreams are made of. The lobby was grand, with chandeliers that sparkled like diamonds. I felt like royalty as I checked in. The room was no less impressive, with gold-plated faucets and room service that could make a king drool. It was amazing. Every detail screamed luxury. I swam in the rooftop pool, feeling the cool water against my skin as I overlooked the city below. It was a moment of pure bliss. I even ordered caviar at 3 a.m. just because I could. The indulgence was intoxicating. I slept in the presidential suite, surrounded by opulence. All for free, of course. But here's the catch. Invisibility wasn't permanent. It was fading, slowly but surely. I could feel it, like a dimming light switch. The thrill was waning, replaced by a growing dread. What would happen when I became visible again? The thought gnawed at me, a constant reminder of my temporary escape. The thought haunted me. I realized that being invisible had isolated me. I couldn't share my experiences, couldn't connect with people. I was a ghost, drifting through life, unseen, unheard. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I didn't want to be invisible anymore. I missed the simple things, a smile, a conversation, a touch. I watched others smile and have conversations, and I longed to be part of that world again. The isolation was suffocating. I missed being seen, being heard, being known. I reached out for a hug, but no one noticed. The emptiness was overwhelming. In a crowded place, I felt more alone than ever. I realized that being invisible wasn't the gift I thought it was. It was a curse, and I longed to break free from it. As my invisibility faded, so did the appeal. I realized I'd missed out on genuine connections. I couldn't share a laugh with a friend, comfort someone in need, or simply enjoy a meal with loved ones. It was a lonely existence, hidden from the world. Sure, I'd had my fun, played my pranks, but at what cost? I'd become a voyeur, an outsider peering into the lives of others. I hadn't truly lived, not really. The realization hit me hard. True joy came from connection, from sharing experiences, from being present and visible in the world. The allure of invisibility had lost its shine. It was time to return to the world, to embrace my visibility, to reconnect with the people and experiences I'd been missing. I was ready to be seen, flaws and all. I was ready to be me. The day I became fully visible again was bittersweet. It was a relief to be seen, to be acknowledged. People no longer screamed and ran in terror. I could finally interact with the world again without fear of causing a scene. But there was also a tinge of sadness. I'd experienced something truly extraordinary, something most people could only dream of. And now it was gone. But you know what? That's okay, because I'd learned a valuable lesson. True happiness isn't about being invisible. It's about being comfortable in your own skin, about embracing your visibility and connecting with the world around you. So if you ever find yourself wishing for invisibility, remember my story. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes the greatest adventures are found in the everyday moments, in the connections we make, in the simple act of being seen for who we truly are. So there you have it, folks. The wild, wacky, and ultimately eye-opening tale of my invisible adventure. It was a roller coaster ride of hilarious mishaps, unexpected challenges, and profound realizations. But hey, that's life, right? It's messy, unpredictable, and always full of surprises. If you enjoyed this story, give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more hilarious tales and life lessons learned the hard way. Until next time, stay visible, my friends.